Hello, my name is Minecraft Phenom08, and this is episode 20 of my 1 Billion Iron Ingot challenge in Minecraft 1.16. In today's episode, I'm going to be setting up a tier 8 void miner here at my main base, so let's get started. Now, obviously in the past, I have set up some void miners, and in the very last episode, I believe, I set up a tier 7 void miner in the end. And if I remember right, I had some issues getting the chunk loading. I actually couldn't get the chunk loading to work at the time, but since then I have been able to get the chunk loading to work in the end. And so I've been running that void miner for a few days there, and I've actually upgraded that void miner to a tier 8 void miner so that I can build more tier 8 void miners here at my main base. And that's what I'm going to do today. Now, that void miner is actually just still producing crystals, and it will continue to do so. However, the void miner I'm going to be setting up today is going to be producing some ores for me. So what I have down is I actually have just 3 things here. I have the void miner itself, and then I have the laser cores set down, as well as the laser lens holder. Now, I did that just simply so I could plot out exactly how high this thing was, because it is rather tall, and I wanted to make sure that I had everything set up correctly. In addition, I also have some area dug out around, because I actually want this void miner to be kind of in the ground rather than just sitting on top of it, like this void miner right here. Now, this is a tier 6 void miner that I have installed between episodes, and this has probably been here for a little while at this point, but it is getting me a decent amount of ores. As you can see, each time that this laser blinks, it is giving me something, so that's pretty good to know. However, this area down here will be dedicated to having void miners, and this is going to be the installation of the first tier 8, which is the top tier void miner. So I should have just about everything I need with me. I also have 20 null modifiers along with 20 of these Zerothium modifiers, and that is because I need to do a little experimentation on how many speed upgrades I should have in the structure to make it most efficient and yet still produce as much material that it can. So let's go ahead and build this thing. So what I'm going to do is I have this flash memory already programmed to the metallic ore miner. I'm going to throw that in here, and then I'm going to tell this to build a multi-block. Now, it does require quite a bit of blocks. It required 100 of the Zerothium structure frames, 88 of the panels, and then just like the other blocks, it required 3. Well, it doesn't require. Do I not have everything? Okay, so for whatever reason, it stopped and it didn't build everything. Not really sure why that happened, but I do have all the blocks here. Let me make sure I'm actually putting that in the right spot, and it looks like it is. So for some reason, it looks like I'm actually a block short. Not really sure why that is. Oh, I know why it is, because this is not the right block. This needs to be one of them. Okay, is this? Okay, so I see. I didn't grab quite everything I need because it looks like I don't have an item output. So I need to go back and grab one of those. I really thought I had one of those with me, but apparently I don't. So let's grab that real quick. So I should have some already made up, and I do. So actually, one thing I should mention is that I do have 3 energy FE inputs here, and I don't think any of them are the same tier as the other ones. I think I have like a tier 6, a tier 4, and something else as well. But any one of them should be able to provide enough energy to run the void miner when I am done setting it up. So let's have this one be an energy input, and then this over here can actually be an item input. And actually, I'm just kind of rethinking that at this point. Yeah, that'll work fine. So let's go ahead and put this block here, and then I need to put the FE input here, and that should be a completed structure. However, it doesn't have energy yet, so it's not doing anything. Let's hook up energy, and I'm just going to hook it up right here. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to run this energy conduit all the way to the ceiling. And then somewhere along the middle of the room, I'm actually going to have kind of a energy main here. We're going to run that across. Like I said, I am going to have more of these void miners down here, and I will probably be setting up the rest of them off camera. But this is going to be one of the primary ways that I get resources, is through these void miners down here. So let me see if it has any blocks in here, and it does have blocks in here, which means it is a functional structure. It just has nowhere for those items to go yet. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to torch this up because I don't want monsters spawning down here. And I'm also going to throw some torches up here. And, oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. So the mining program that I'm using, which is the metallic ore miner, that will get me things like gold ore, iron ore, basically copper ore, aluminum ore, things like that. It won't get me like coal or redstone, so I will have to maybe set up other miners to do that in the future. I did not want to do that. Good thing there is you can retrieve one item from this trash slot, because I didn't mean to trash this. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this next to the item output. So one thing I didn't know until very recently is that these item outputs will actually push items into adjacent inventories. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an inventory right here. I need to go ahead and set down a storage module and hit lock. And now, as we can see, we are getting things into this. So that is working. And even without any speed upgrades, it is providing a decent amount of stuff. So that's actually really nice to see. So the next thing I want to do is I want to hook this up to an import bus. So I'm going to do that right like so. And this will help get things to my ME system. And once again, I am going to have kind of a main that will run kind of across the room here from the top. So I'm going to build this all the way to the ceiling. I'm going to build this over one to where that main will be. And actually, in the future, I will probably replace these kind of where I'm going to have the main here with dense cables. But for right now, let's just do the standard cable because that's what I have with me. And then I can go ahead and hook it up to my MA system like so. So that should work pretty well. And as we can see, maybe shortly, yep, it is working. The import bus is working. So the next thing I want to do is I want to add speed upgrades to make this faster, because as you can see, the tier 6 miner over here is quite a bit faster than this one, and that is because I have these frequency modifiers, which are what I call speed upgrades. Basically, they just speed it up, and they allow it to consume the void miner, that is, to consume more energy. So this void miner is currently consuming about 10 times the amount of power that is this one. That was 14,000 something, and this is 1,400. So what I want to do is start adding some speed upgrades. I'm going to start out by adding 4, and these are all of the tier 8 version of the frequency modifiers. Now there are different tiers of these, but the tier 8 should be the most effective here, so that's what I opted for, because I have plenty of resources to do it. So let's go ahead and put these in, and let's kind of gauge how fast this is. And it is either blinking too fast to see, or yes, it's blinking too fast to see. So actually, this is going to be extremely hard to figure out how many speed upgrades oh, wow. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. So it's going to be kind of hard to see how many of these upgrades that I need, because I'm not 100% certain, because in the past, this mod actually only went up to tier 6. And I believe if you had 7 or 8 of the frequency modifiers in that structure, it would be maximum speed. So I'm not entirely sure what the maximum speed here is. Clearly I'm getting a lot of stuff though. Wow, this is a lot of stuff, and I only have four modifiers here. I'm gonna ramp this up. I'm going to do 8 now, and so actually, because I like my symmetry here, I'm going to kind of knock out those, and I'm going to put my upgrades here, and then I'm going to put down some null modifiers, because like I said, I do like symmetry here. And I'm going to see if that gets me any more stuff. It does look faster to me, but it's honestly super hard to tell. And let's see what the energy consumption is, because I'm not sure. You know what? Because I'm not sure that this is max speed, I'm going to add even more frequency upgrades. Let's just go whole hog and do 20. I have 20 with me. Let's just add them all and see where my energy consumption is. It will probably be maybe at an untenable level, so I will probably end up taking some of these frequency modifiers back out. But I just want to see where the power consumption is with all of them there, and then if I seem to be getting, yeah, okay, so I cannot consume that much energy. I'm not producing that much energy, so yeah. So let's go ahead and remove 8 of these and see where our energy consumption is there, and then see if I can see any sort of difference, which it's kind of doubtful. It was already hard to see if there's a difference between 4 and 8, but yeah, might as well see if we can. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of stuff from this. I already have almost 4 stacks of iron ore. That's crazy. So, wow. I'm probably going to do a little research between episodes, but I'm going to leave this here for right now. And actually, I do need to check this. Okay, so actually, it is the same power consumption-wise. And I think, you know what? I think over here, I might actually have tier 8. Yeah, I do. I actually do have the tier 8 modifiers over here as well. I'm not sure if they are producing any benefit for this particular miner, but they definitely are for this one. And I say that, when I say that, I mean I might be able to have 12 of the tier 6 frequency modifiers over here, and it might be the same speed, but I'm not 100% sure. However, I am getting a lot of stuff over here. I already have 55 different stacks of things in here. And that's kind of crazy because this has not been running very long. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hook this back up to my ME system, and I'm going to see if the import bus can even keep up, to be honest, because I'm making a lot of stuff. It does look like it. Yeah, it's more than keeping up. But yeah, this is able to make a lot of stuff for me, and for right now, that is going to do quite nicely. So I think I've reached a pretty good wrapping up point for today's episode. So even though it's a kind of short one. So in today's episode, I set up this tier 8 void miner. I have it set up to mine metallic metals, and that's going to be fantastic for getting me iron ore and gold ore and things like that. So, and one thing I should check on, one more thing here real fast. And in the future, I do need to change my ore processing for iron ore in particular. But let's see how much of a different. Oh wow. So with my tier 6 void miner, this usually had about a stack of iron ore in it. And yeah, I'm already maybe oversaturating this. It's kind of hard to tell. It actually doesn't look like I am, because that initial influx of those 4 stacks of iron ore I had there, just sitting there, they all got imported into the system at once. So it looks like this system is currently able to handle it. Not super well, but it is. So that's good to see. But getting back to it, I think that is a good stopping point for today's episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to drop a like down below. I'm really glad that these void miners are actually pretty easy to build. You just have to have this stuff, and it does take quite a while to get to the tier 8. I think I've had void miners for something like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks in my server in real time. So yeah, it's taken all this time to get to this tier 8 variant, but it's going to be super, super valuable moving forward because it does get a lot of stuff. So anyways, if you enjoyed this episode, feel free to drop a like down below. And if you enjoy watching automation type stuff in modern Minecraft, definitely consider subscribing to my channel because I am going to be investing heavily in doing some heavy automation moving forward. So anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.